Bet on Bears fans, another edition of the Chicago Bears podcast coming your way. Pat the designer, Shea, Norling in the building. Bears take an L, a ugly L, to the Baltimore Ravens, 30-16. We got to talk about what we saw, or lack of what we saw there, offensively and defensively on this team, and some of the issues, of course, that we have coming out of this game. I think the biggest conversation that everybody's having today is around the quarterback and Caleb Williams. Of course, we'll have that conversation here as well. Appreciate y'all for tuning in to show love. As always, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Today's episode brought to you by Underdog. Make picks, win money. Shea, not good. That was I think that's the best way to describe it. There is no better way. Offensively, the Bears did not do enough. Defensively, our expensive defensive line got the number of the day. I think the number of the day on both sides.
Yep.
3 field goals.
Yep.
And 3 pressures. Shea, what were your thoughts from yesterday? Let's start off with the offensive side of the ball.
Go ahead and read the top of this. Just tell me what the top of this here says.
Department of Positivity approved Caleb Williams talking points.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to be known as a hater. You know, there's been a programming change, actually, on this podcast.
Is there?
Yeah, I was handed this on my way in from on high.
Is this from the gods?
Yeah, from on high. Yeah. Because it's been brought to my attention that I'm a hater of Caleb Williams. I believe the words that were used last week that came to the attention of the big people, the people up top.
Yeah.
They said, Pat, this clown on the right. This is why we call clowns like this a Caleb hater. And so, you know, I see it. I read it. I know what the people want. They want propaganda. And so here I have the Department of Positivity approved Caleb Williams talking points. So we'll get into them. Point 1. He's only 7 games into his rookie. Sorry, not rookie. Not rookie.
Whoa.
Second season.
Oh, here we go.
Sorry, but I know people want to look at it like his rookie year because last year doesn't count, right? This is the approved talking points. My fault. Only 7 games into his second season. He's got a new coach and play caller, and he needs time. Okay. He plays quarterback for the Chicago Bears. He does. He indeed does play quarterback. He played football yesterday. It's true.
There was a C on his helmet.
Okay. He's a team captain. There's a C on his jersey too.
Are we getting team captain propaganda out here? Is that
it's an approved talking point.
Okay.
He is factually on pace for the most pass yards by a Bears quarterback in a season. So that's good. It's not quite 4,000. I'm sorry, approved. He is nearly on pace for 4,000 yards. And then very importantly, and I heard this on the broadcast yesterday on TV.
Yeah.
I'd like to shout out the national broadcast because clearly they've been handed the same memorandum that has been passed down to me from on high. He is staying much longer after practice. In fact, his car, which is very nice, is always seen in the parking lot after practice. He's the last one out the door. It's reminiscent of Benito Mussolini in fascist Italy leaving the light on because he was working so hard for the Italian people. That's how hard Caleb Williams is working.
I don't know if we could go all the way to Mussolini, but
it's reminiscent. Caleb's car never leaves the parking lot. Ever. He works so hard.
Do we know what his Uber bill looks like?
Now, please, if you would, read this.
Department of... Hold on, I got to put the glasses back. By the way, if you guys didn't know, I found this out on Twitter. People thought I could see. They thought that the glasses weren't real.
No lenses.
I thought the glasses weren't real.
They don't know.
People thought I could see.
They don't know.
I am very blind.
Just the top part,
Department of Positivity prohibited Caleb Williams talking points.
Correct.
Here we go.
Prohibited. All right.
Please tune into the YouTube side if you are listening on the podcast to see this. Go ahead, Shea.
So I can't talk about these things. So make no mention of his multiple intentional grounding penalties.
Yeah, I was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we won't talk about those. Make no mention of inaccurate throws on 3rd and medium, like the miss to Romadunze on 3rd and 7, or the miss to a wide open DJ Moore in the back of the end zone.
We can't talk about that.
Okay, we won't mention those. Make no mention of poor deep ball accuracy, like in the rare instance where he was even allowed to throw the ball deep, overthrowing Devin Duvernay open in the corner of the end zone.
Yep.
So we won't discuss that. Please make no mention of his completion percentage ranking 24th in the NFL. Okay,
It is ugly right now.
Yep. We're also not going to mention that his completion percentage above expectation is the worst in the NFL. We won't mention that. We won't make any mention of him ranking ahead of only Geno Smith, Jake Browning, Joe Flacco, Trevor Lawrence, Cam Ward, and Dylan Gabriel in EPA plus CPOE, which for the non-initiated is expected points added plus completion percentage over expected composite rating. He ranks ahead of only Geno Smith, Jake Browning, Joe Flacco, Trevor Lawrence, Cam Ward, and Dylan Gabriel. We won't mention
Joe
that.
Flacco, solid day yesterday, though.
We won't mention that. And we'll make no mention of the Bears having the 7th worst dropback success rate in football. We won't mention that either.
We'll avoid those.
So those are the prohibited. Oh, actually getting word from on high.
You got an earpiece in.
Wow, this is
an earpiece in.
I'm getting chewed out, Pat. Apparently, I've mentioned all of these things.
Oh, darn it.
And now they're asking me, listen, I'll relay the message. They are asking me to please, absolutely under no circumstance, make any mention of the fact that Drake May is also a second-year quarterback who also has a new head coach and a new play caller and has a worse offensive line and has worse pass catchers and has the worst running game in football. And he's fucking 3rd in MVP odds. So everybody stop talking to me about, I believe the quote I saw in the YouTube comments last week was, I'll take Drake from shaft to tip. I'll take Drake over this bum that played for the Bears yesterday. 100% right now. I'm sorry. It's just the way I feel. It's not Patriots fan hyping up Drake May. It's every excuse you want to make for Caleb Williams, he has overcome. So shove it. That's how I feel about Caleb. A week after being branded a villain, a hater, some piece of shit by the fan base, because I will be critical of his play, and I will not excuse him. And I find it really ironic that the same people now who are like, you're just a Caleb hater. You're the same person who told me I was a Justin hater. You're the same person who told me we had to keep Justin over Caleb. And now you're the person that's standing in front of this guy with your sword out telling me how much of a hater I am. Maybe I'm just willing to be honest about the player. And maybe you're just blind faith fan. And you know what? That's fine. Because you don't have to agree with me. That's never been a part of the contract here.
No.
I have a mic, I give my opinion. You can disagree. But I do think it's a little problematic that we've entered an era in life where you have opinion I don't like, you are a hater, you are a loser, you are an idiot. I can't listen, I can't speak to you, etc., etc. That's why I did this stupid propaganda bit. And you know what? It's one I was actually excited about. But Caleb played so badly yesterday, I couldn't even really do it.
Can we clap it up for that for a second? That was phenomenal. It was well done. Shea Norling, ladies and gentlemen. Now, there's no can over there. There's a trash can. There's a trash can right next to you. Oh, did they take it out of here? Never mind. Okay. It just fires the paper to the corner.
There's no trash can.
I thought there was
right.
one there before. Anyway. Listen, last 2 games, I can't disagree with anything you said there. The one thing that I will say I think stands out to me the most is the layup passes. Those are the ones that irritate me. Because, listen, I do think we need to talk about this in the offensive sense. talk about this in the offense as a whole, and I'll bring up why here in a second. But I do want to establish the common ground. The misses on the layups are unacceptable. You're the first overall pick. You have the talent. You do. You have all the talent in the world. When it's third down and you got an opportunity to get the ball to Rome Odunze, you can't miss that. And I hear him yesterday. We're not on the same page. We're not on the same page. We're not on the same page. It sent me up the wall. You're the page. Whatever page you're on, that's the page the team should be on. My favorite thing about watching Tom Brady for years was when people were on the same page, he went over to them and he told them, get on my page. It's not about how you feel, how you want to run the route, how you want to see. This is where the ball's going to go.
Yep.
Peyton Manning did that. Patrick Mahomes does that. Jared Goff does that. You need to get your team on the page. To me, the conversation of growth that I need to see Caleb Williams have, because Caleb's always on a different page, it seems like, at least through these last couple of games, is as a leader, no one should be on a different page than you. The one person it seems like you're always on the same page with is Rome, and Rome can't bring in those tough catches that you keep putting out there for him. At least once a game, we go, gotta have that ball. Mm-hmm. Like you threw the sideline pass to Caleb or to Rome. That's a big play. Gotta have that ball.
Mm-hmm.
Now on the pass to Rome across the middle, when you watch the tape, maybe Rome's feet get caught up. I feel like you're throwing missiles at him. I think the touch may be a conversation we need to have. He is Josh Allen year 2 right now. Remember how Josh Allen was like throwing to Stephon Diggs, and Stephon Diggs went to him on the sideline and was like, it's 3 degrees.
Yeah.
You're throwing boulders at my face. You can't throw boulders at my face when I'm 10 yards away. I think the touch has to be a conversation that we're going to have here right now. But as far as the things that I agree with on the struggles he has, and he has to improve, the layups are the ones you can't miss.
It's killer.
That's where Drake May is 210% right now ahead of Caleb Williams, and it's where I want to see him improve.
And I don't want to turn this into a Drake May versus Caleb Williams.
It's going to be that.
I understand.
It's going to be that. It's going to be
last
that. They're
year,
drafted,
yep.
Same draft class. Literally, and again, you can't. Worst situation.
100%.
There's who's our third wide receiver? Third wide receiver. I don't know if there's an Olamide Zacchaeus over there.
No, there isn't.
Stephon Diggs is god awful. Kevon Booty, I mean, he shows up, once.
It's Pop Douglas and like Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper.
I don't know if there's an OZ over there. Offensive line is clearly better. It's going to be that conversation no matter what.
But it shouldn't be, because I do want to make it clear. I believe Caleb exists independently of anybody else.
Yeah.
Who is like a quarterback in his draft class. Jaden Daniels being great last year has nothing to do with Caleb's development. Drake May being great now has nothing to do with Caleb's development.
Right.
Caleb's development happens independently of all of those things.
Right.
I only bring it up because if you're critical of Caleb, there is this new resistance where it's like, just give him time, give him time. He needs time. He needs to learn this new offense. I don't know, man. Like 25 games isn't a small sample size. It gets thrown around like it's some nothing thing. And I'm not sitting here saying I'm ready to cut bait and move on. I'm not. I am in the same position I've always been with this guy. I am a fan of him. I wanted him in the draft. This is perhaps even more frustrating to me than Fields was because I'm such a fan of Caleb Williams. And because I want this to work so badly. But the more that you watch it, the more I do wonder if Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams just aren't a good fit. Because Ben Johnson wants his quarterback to hit the back foot and rip the football. And Josh Allen, to your point, learned to do that. But my fear is now, like, dude, we've hit a point where any time a quarterback is shitty through a couple of seasons, they just get the comp. Well, look, Josh Allen was bad for a couple seasons. You understand you're basically, like, functionally, you're saying any quarterback drafted in the 6th round is pretty much Tom Brady. Like, it's happened once.
Yeah.
And we can't make that guy the standard. Sure, if you want to lump Jalen Hurts, but Jalen Hurts is not what Josh Allen is.
Oh, 3 times. I wasn't even going Jalen Hurts. I was going Brock Purdy.
No, okay. Yeah.
I was going Purdy. I forgot about her. Wow.
So
he was drafted that late.
No, Jalen Hurts was second round, so it's the same as Josh Allen in a sense.
Oh, okay.
And they both.
You're going there. Okay,
I'm bringing those two up because they both overcame the deficiencies of turnovers, of completion percentage, certain things like that. That's why I brought the two of them up. The Purdy thing. I mean, again, like if.
It's not sustainable. It's
Drafting-
the same as the Dan Campbell conversation. If a head coach is bad for 2.5 years and then all of a sudden he becomes one of the best head coaches in football, that doesn't happen.
Right. It's like, Aaron Glenn's 1-7. Dan Campbell was 1-6.
I did think about it.
Of course. And I'm not saying anybody shouldn't, but I'm just like, I would just advise people to be careful because you start putting the side-by-sides. Caleb's basically the same as Josh Allen through 2 years. Do you know how many quarterbacks are basically the same as Josh Allen through 2 years and never had a third year?
100%. But here's, I think, the difference if you're going to look at those two. Caleb last year was probably Josh Allen year 2. And this has not been Josh Allen year 3 yet, only in the sense of how he's cut the pressures and the sacks that he's taken essentially into a third of what it once was, which is one of the more important things. But here's where I think if you're having a conversation about the football, Caleb can't do it by himself. It's impossible. No player can do it by himself. The biggest thing for me that this Bears team has to overcome, and they got to figure it out fast, is penalties, Shea.
I agree.
I went down a nerd rabbit hole after I got home. I was up till 1 a.m. going down this nerd rabbit hole of how many drives the Chicago Bears have scored on when they are negatively penalized. Let's start off here. Because we made the comparison, let's go with what we were seeing in New England, what we're seeing here in Chicago. How many total drives do you think the Patriots, who have played one more game than the Bears, have been penalized on?
How many total drives?
Total drives all season.
Jesus, I have no idea.
17.
Okay.
The Chicago Bears right now, after yesterday's game,
I know they're the most penalized team in football.
27 with one less game. How many of those penalized drives do you think they've scored a touchdown on this season?
1.
You are 100% correct.
It's impossible. You take a negative penalty, you take a sack, it's impossible. It ends your drive.
And this, to me, while Caleb is a part of the issue, is a Bears issue as a whole. They've gotten into the red zone 4 times this season and gotten penalized on those. They've scored 1 touchdown. On 25% of their drives, they've scored a touchdown. Conversely, when it's clean operation, 64% of the time, the Chicago Bears have found their way into the end zone for 7 points.
I love that my husband's so handy. He leaves more money for the important stuff.
Whoa.
Gosh darn it, Steve.
Ow. Don't be like Steve. Call Avondale Roofing. DIY is for Pinterest, not your roof.
I think that there is nothing. Now, this goes back to Caleb. To me, this is a conversation on the leadership, getting guys in order. When you're jumping off sides, let them know this ain't acceptable. Figure it out. I don't need to see it on the sidelines, but I need to know that somebody's doing something because it's not getting better.
Yeah.
You're not going to win football games. You're not going to score touchdowns. That's why you end up with 3. You're not going to score touchdowns when on a 3rd and 1 on the script, when everybody knows the freaking snap count in the building, Colston Loveland is jumping.
I know.
It's unacceptable.
It's
the most unacceptable thing in sports right now.
I need to know who the blame falls on. And I'm not excusing Ben Johnson. I don't want anybody to think that I'm sitting here making excuses. But I think it's fascinating that he took the mic after the game yesterday and said, we're coaching it, and it's happening. And, there has to be a point as a coach where you feel pretty powerless about it, where it's like, all I've done is harp on this, and it's not getting fixed.
Yeah.
The fact that he took the mic and just said, it's on the leaders of this team now. It's on our captains to fix it. I don't disbelieve him saying that they've harped on. I don't think that they're ignorant to it.
I guarantee you they have. They threw the first team offense off the field because of it.
So what's the problem? Like, my question is, why does it keep happening?
Is this a...
And Tooney got called for one yesterday, and I'm sorry, it didn't exist.
He didn't move. Yeah, he didn't move.
There was no false start.
That was, and I think at a certain point, it comes down to the people that are in the building. And I'm talking about the guys on this team. Shea, is this a this year issue?
No.
This was an issue under Nagy. This was an issue under Flus. All 3 years. This is an issue right now. At a certain point, you got to look around at some of the personnel that's in the building and say, hey, I don't know what it is. They don't get it. I.e., the biggest one who's done it almost consistently from the beginning of training camp to last game was the first game we didn't see it because he didn't play. Cole Kmet always has a penalty.
Yep.
Always has a pre-snap issue. One of the highest paid tight ends in football. I want Cole to be good. Cole, Chicago guy, you want him to be here, you want him to be a part of it. He's consistently penalized.
And he's also one of the guys who and I made my problems with this clear, or at least problems, my bother with it pretty clear. Yeah. He was also one of those guys last year talking about how badly they need a coach that'll hold them accountable and keep them accountable. And what are you, a child? Like, I asked this question last year. What are you, an infant? You need a babysitter?
Yeah.
Like, I do kind of, I'm with you on it. The 53 players on the roster at some point have to hold themselves accountable and be better.
Yeah.
Like, this is where I live in the no excuses stuff with Caleb. I live in the no excuses stuff with every single person on this team, all 53 of them. And I just look at it like this. It's pretty simple. You got a quarterback who was drafted with the number 1 pick.
Yep.
You got a wide receiver who was drafted with the 10th pick. You got a right tackle who was drafted with the 10th pick. You got a highly, highly paid for interior offensive line in Joe Tooney and Drew Dalman and Jonah Jackson. Yep. You went out and bought this. Left tackle, you really haven't addressed. You've been pretty complacent about. That's an issue. Running back, you really haven't addressed. You've been pretty complacent about it. That's an issue. You have a defense that is the 5th most expensive in football. And it stinks.
Where's that defensive line rank?
It stinks. And like, yesterday, you're injured in your secondary. Okay, then we got to get some pressure. You can't get pressure. You get pressure 3 times on Tyler Huntley. Yeah. And it's, again, like, I can criticize Ryan Poles for building what I think is a deeply flawed and expensive roster. I did that 3 weeks ago. 4 weeks ago, whenever that show was, I did the criticism of it. But I also think you have to hold the 53 players on the roster accountable, because at some point, like, you can tell me how badly you want to be held accountable. You can tell me how badly you want a coach who's going to coach you really tough. Well, now you have one. And the same problems you have right now are the problems you had when training camp opened on July 10th or whatever.
Yeah.
So, like, keep it.
The exact same.
It's the same thing I'll say to all the fans who tell me that all the excuses about Caleb. Oh, well, it's a new play caller. It's a new coach. Dude, kindly, like, respectfully, shove it. I'm not here for it. You do what you want to do, but I'm not here for any of the excuse stuff. I'm not here for it with any player on this roster. It can't look like it did yesterday.
Here's the tough part for me, though, right, is when I look at the quarterback in clean operation, that's a quarterback we want. When this team isn't penalized, they are 4 times as efficient.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And Caleb moves the ball down the field fine. And I'm not saying you shouldn't be able to overcome. Yesterday, 3rd down, listen, Colston Loveland jumps. You go from 3rd and 1 to 3rd and 6.
Yeah, and I also just...
That was a wide open pass to Roma Dunes. You got to hit that.
How much of lacking clean operation is also, like, he is partially responsible for it?
He's got to be a part of it.
There's something going on with the cadence that results in all these false start penalties. Like, he's not... I cannot, knowing what I know about football, I cannot remove him from the equation on this.
No, you can't remove him.
It's happening too much for me to say it's got nothing to do with the quarterback. The multiple intentional grounding penalties. I mean, that's on you. You are hurting your own ability to score.
100%. And again, I'm not saying that the last 2 games have been perfect, but I think just like when they won, the praise probably was way too high.
Of course it was.
When they've lost, I think the praise is way too low. I think you end up somewhere in the middle on this, especially when you look at the team as a whole. A team yesterday that continue to find ways to shoot himself in the foot. The one thing I wanted to see Caleb do was try and overcome that.
Yep.
But then I went back and I looked. You look at Bo Nix, when his team's penalized in that same way, same numbers. Drake May, literally, he's had the Bears have had 19 red zone penalties. 19 drives that were negative once they got near the red zone base, 25 in. The Patriots have had 17. 2 touchdowns for both of them. You know what I mean? Like, it's impossible to overcome going the wrong way. Ben Johnson has harped on it the entire time. And he did say, listen, we're going to be playing our best football in December. And Shea, I'll be honest with you, I think it's going to include because some of these guys aren't going to be a part of the team.
I agree with that,
like
100%.
Theo Benedict is not better than Braxton Jones. After 2 weeks of seeing, and we're excited about, you know what Theo Benedict isn't? Getting called for penalties every time he walks out on the field.
Yeah.
There's going to be some names that are going to be very different on this team moving forward. I told y'all at the beginning of this, when you have a coaching change, your favorite Chicago Bear is probably not going to be your favorite Chicago Bear in 2 years. Because there's going to be guys that can't get with the program. It doesn't matter how much talent you have if you can't run the play.
So I would say, just going back to where we started this, I agree. The praise for Caleb got way too high. And I always said, guys, he ain't playing that well. Like the Raider game, I said, he survived. You survived in advance. You don't apologize for it. The Washington game, I said, Aikman wasn't wrong, dude. He didn't play good. The last week, certainly, or the Saints game, certainly. I was like, that was the worst game of the year so far. And now here we are where people are finally like willing to just hit him with a garbage can. I think that's also going too far. And I know how I started the show. I was doing something stupid because it was fun. And it was really more about, I feel like anytime you criticize.
She's just holding the garbage can. I think it's crazy that people are hitting him with a garbage can. Wham!
Yeah, as I hit him with one.
I'm sorry about
No, but it is like,
Wham!
my point is more, if you're critical, you just get, for a minute there, we were in the Fields cult land where it's like, you say something I don't want to hear about him, then you're a bad person.
Which is great to me because now I'm the one defending Caleb.
But
You bring up the Washington game. Second half of that game, 7 for 12, 130 quarterback rating.
I do
2 touchdowns, 1 callback.
I do think the truth is in the middle, and it's why I said I'm not giving up on Caleb.
Yeah.
You start talking about it the way I've talked about him, and you get critical of the things he's doing badly, and people are like, "Oh, you're ready to move on?" No, I never said that.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to move on, but I do need it to improve. Like you bring up, it's got to be a clean operation, and then it looks good. Okay, then let me see that more, please.
Yeah.
And I do hold him accountable for how negative some of these drives end up. Like he's a part of the offense. Everybody on the offense gets held accountable for it. I just, at some point, when you see the juxtaposition of what the 2 guys drafted behind him are able to do, one last year, one this year, and then you look at this, like at some point, the 1-1 quarterback with an outstanding play caller and all of this weaponry and all of this money spent to protect him has to be better.
Sure.
I have to see him be at least not bad. I'm not even asking for good right now. Can I get not bad?
And I think here's the thing. When you see something 2 weeks in a row, that becomes the loudest talking point. The last 2 weeks have been bad. I thought last week was a week where, the team picked him up for the bad play that he had. I was hoping this would be a week where he could pick the team up. And there were opportunities there for you to do that. That throw to Rome at the end. By the way, we got to stop with he's force feeding it to Rome. He's got 3 more targets than DJ Moore. Like, pretty consistently throughout.
Okay.
Week in and week out, we've seen 7, 5, 5, 6, 4. Like, it's not. I'm throwing it to one guy the entire game. You want to see force feeding? Watch everything that the Vikings are doing right now. That's force feeding it to one guy.
I agree. However, I do think he has a problem of critical downs locking on the Rome.
Sure, 100%. But I would also rather you lock on. Now, it helps if you catch it. I would also rather you lock on.
Are you talking about the pick?
No. The throw on the sideline, third down, right? The throw last week.
Okay.
That puts you in field goal range.
See, the third.
Like, I'm fine with you locking onto your number one guy.
The third down one, I don't even have an issue with the sideline throw.
Yeah, it was great.
I don't think he locked onto Rome, and it was a phenomenal throw. My issue more with that is if that's the throw that you need to rely on consistently, then you're going to lose games.
Yeah.
Because it's so low percentage.
Yeah. But even like those are the moments where like we've seen him throw it to Rome in those like this is the end of the game, you know who I'm going to. I think that's just football. It's the NFL. At the end of the game, when it's Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, we know where that ball's going. If you throw it to anyone else, we are looking at you sideways going, what are you doing right now? When we get to end of game situations last year and Sam Darnold's not throwing it to Justin Jefferson, we're like, you're not going to be here long, buddy.
To play devil's advocate, I think people are mostly referring to the interception when they talk about locking on the Rome. That was a terrible decision. It was a terrible throw.
And there was somebody else of it.
And Monungai was running free underneath. It would have been a first down, live to fight another day. And that's the critical downs I'm talking about where he does just lock on to Rome, and it often isn't an easy catch. There are moments, I talked about it last week, people wanted to listen. There are moments where Rome's got to squeeze the football, and he doesn't. But there are also moments where I think Caleb chooses the more difficult throw and the more difficult catch over something that you won't go broke taking a profit.
Sure.
Where I'd like to see, I don't want it to be a check down Charlie here, but I would also just take the easy stuff once in a while, hit the layup. Or especially on like the touchdown, would-be touchdown to DJ Moore. And I know it's the end of the game. Probably isn't the difference. I don't think you come back and win anyway.
You took too much time. But you took way too much time to get there.
That fourth down play, you hit your back foot, you rip the ball. He's wide open in the back of the end zone. Why do you miss him by 3 yards?
Yeah.
It's just that the 3rd and 7 earlier in the game to Rome. You hit your back foot, you rip the ball. How do you miss him by 3 yards?
Those are the ones to me where when I hear not on the same page, what's the page? He's wide open running across the back of the end zone. What's the page?
That's what really bothers me because it's not – I believe he can do the spectacular.
Yeah.
And I believe he can be a franchise quarterback. It's the easy stuff that he makes look so difficult that's where I'm like, what am I – that's what frustrates me.
But I think the easy is just about taking it. And I thought, I'll be honest. Pause. That was crazy. And I'll be honest.
That was
nuts. I thought he actually did it yesterday. I had a problem, and this is going to be probably the quietest conversation of the week because we're all still tingly about him being here. I thought Ben Johnson called a terrible game. I thought that there were so many routes short of first down, short of the sticks. The touchdown that could have been a touchdown to OZ, he's not even running into the end zone on this play. Like, those are the ones to me where it's like, this doesn't make sense at all.
It's a consistent issue, consistently with the same player, and it is the book of Zacchaeus. I love the guy, man. He's been awesome.
Maybe it's OZ. Maybe it's OZ cutting his route short, and it's not Ben Johnson.
It's OZ every single time. And the part that really bothers me is he's become such like a confident safety valve type receiver for Caleb. Yeah. Where third down, I'm going to hit you. Every time he's short of the sticks. Yeah. Every time. And whether it's OZ or Ben Johnson, I've always said it's a Bill Belichick-ism from back in the day. If you're not coaching it, you're allowing it.
Yeah.
It has been multiple games now where routes are run short of the goal line, routes are run short of the sticks, and you are giving up yards and sometimes giving up points. That is not acceptable, and it's up to Ben Johnson to fix it. The sequencing of plays and everything, people keep saying he called a terrible game. I didn't really feel that way watching it live. I thought it was fine. I thought the offense let him down in a lot of places. The penalties, some drops. Yeah. DeAndre Swift did not have as great of a game as he's had. I still thought he was pretty awesome.
I thought you didn't go to him enough.
That too.
I think that's the thing for me.
Personnel usage was a little odd.
It felt like, you had these two big games from the running backs. You finally got the offense moving in the right direction with the running game. Hey, it's okay to lean on that. And not to say, that you don't want Caleb to be able to step back there and rip it and have to rely on him in some of these moments. I think you do have to put him in those positions where, hey, buddy, this game's going to come down to you being better than the guy on the other side of you. And that, I think maybe, that Ravens defense kind of caught them off guard a little bit. They looked like you had all your best guys back out there ready to go.
I think red zone play calling, it's fair to question.
Yeah.
I can tell you it was questioned in Detroit. last year especially. I know there were a lot of people who had issues with the red zone play calling the Lions had last year. It was one of the few gripes that people had about their offense. So I do think now that it's carried over and we're through 7 games and this is one of the worst red zone offenses, it's fair to question what's going on the play sheet once you're inside the 20-yard line.
Yeah.
Personnel stuff, I don't get why you took Colston Loveland 10th. Why are you not using him? Yesterday was as good a time as ever.
I thought that was the best time. I thought that was the best. And then listen, he knows more about football than I do. I'm not going to sit here and say you don't, but it's like you need a big body guy that can be a safety valve and can go up there and get it.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this, right? There's probably some doghouse situation. First drive, you know it. Hey, there's a trust that has to be built here back and forth. If I can't trust you to get the plays right that we studied all week, can I put you in a position where you can be the guy that goes out there and makes the plays that I'm just calling off of the play sheet that we've gone over, but we haven't spent all week going, these are the plays that are going to get us in the end zone.
Yep.
If I can't trust you to know the snap count then, how am I going to trust you in these moments? And Ben Johnson is big on trust. That's why I keep saying, guys, like, there's going to be a lot of players throughout this process. I don't think Colston Loveland's there yet, but it's going to take time for that trust to be built up. Look how long it took for Monunga. I mean, it took 7 weeks for him to go, hey, you know, this guy who was a leading rusher at Rutgers kind of knows how to run the football.
You might be seeing some of that same lack of trust with the quarterback too, because it does feel a little bit like he's handcuffed, especially in the red zone with how willing they are to run the football. And I thought about the Cowboys game, the best game Caleb's played as a Bear by far.
Yeah.
The real turning point of that game wasn't Caleb slinging the ball around. It was a drive that had, I believe, 13 consecutive rushing plays. That ended the game. That wore down the Dallas defense. It allowed Caleb to take advantage of it late. Like, that was it. And you look back at it and you go, you really call that drive out of the half when you trust your quarterback? And then you look at how they've done this since then, where it's been so rush heavy. And it feels like I saw people saying yesterday they felt like they were hiding Caleb in the game plan a little bit. I'm not going to say I feel like that
I don't
totally.
think that because he was the game plan yesterday.
I don't.
He only had 15 runs the entire day.
I don't feel that way. But I do think when you get in the red zone, especially, there is. How could I sit here comfortably and say they trust him in the red zone when they throw the ball the least of any team in the red zone?
But see, here's the thing for me with that. You know their identity that they want to build is a smash mouth, punch you in the mouth, be tougher than you team. When you get down in the red zone, I do want you to run the ball. I do want you spent all this money on this offensive line. Move somebody. You did that the last 2 weeks. Move somebody. Get somebody out the way. I hate the quarterback sneak call. I get it. You're trying to catch them off guard, but they haven't been caught off guard the entire game. I don't know if that's the moment to do it. Maybe just spike the ball there and get a good play in. But to me, like, I'm okay with you saying, we built this offensive line. We need to use it.
Yeah, I think my read on it, like, that's fine. It's also not especially effective. They're not scoring a ton of touchdowns in the red zone. So I would look inward a little bit at why this is happening. My read on not throwing the ball is the closer Caleb gets to the end zone, the tighter the windows get on your throws, and he's just not accurate. And I kind of think there might be a lack of faith in him being accurate enough. And it's why you saw things like yesterday, whiffing on DJ Moore wide open in the back of the end zone, whiffing on Roma Dunze on the crosser. It was all throwback to Monday Night Football against Minnesota when you had wide open DJ Moore crossing in the red zone, missed him completely.
Yeah.
It just...
He's got to be better.
The inaccuracy is the killer. It really is. Because even if you have a chance to overcome some of the negative plays, it starts with delivering the ball on time and accurate. And he's not doing that. Right now, he is neither on time or accurate.
Yeah. He's got the one thing for me is even when some of these are completed, I mean, they're thrown to heaven. Like, it's literally Rome jumping up, reaching up to go get it. DJ jumping up, reaching up to go get it. I'm waiting for the bread basket. I'm waiting for on the run. I'm waiting for... and I think those things I think here's my thing. I think you have the talent, and college football, you're the college football expert. To me, when I watch it, it looks like a completely different football game.
It is.
It looks like you're playing a different style of football.
It is.
Like,
I've told you, it's
the
a
college
joke.
Football connection from one to the other, I think, is a further leap, especially at quarterback, than people are willing to go to, which is why I think now you're just trying to find the clay and find the right guy to mold it.
Yeah.
Ben Johnson's still going through that molding process. It's a lot tougher when Drake May's third in MVP voting because that conversation gets loud. Because Drake May has been playing well. The molding's been there. It's already happened. I will also say Josh McDaniels has now done this with 4 quarterbacks, essentially. So he's a little bit better at it.
Who are the 4?
What's Pretty Boy?
Garoppolo?
Porn star Jimmy.
Yeah,
You did it with Tom. That offense took a whole new life there with Tom.
With Josh McDaniel, he wasn't good until Josh McDaniels?
Well, he was a little bit more of a game manager.
In 2007?
In 2007,
Who was the OC? If McDaniel, I can't remember who the OC was.
Didn't McDaniels come to, when did he come there? Second Super Bowl stints, right?
Yeah, I thought it was the 2010s. Oh, it wasn't. It was McDaniels in 07.
That's what I thought.
06 to 08. Okay.
It blew up. It
I
exploded.
had the years wrong. That's fair. All right. So
I'll give you
he
Drake.
opened up
I'll
the
give you
offense
Drake
for
right now.
And Mac Jones damn near won Rookie of the Year under
Exactly.
Josh McDaniels.
That's what I mean.
So I knew that there were 3.
You've got a guy that's used to molding the clay. You got a guy who's molding the clay his way. And I think here's the tough part that people don't want to understand or pay attention to. And then we do got to get the underdog here in a second. This is kind of exactly what it looked like with Jared Goff.
Again,
It was low percentage numbers. Literally the numbers are identical. I get it. You want to get to 79%. You want to get to the guy that's completing 84% of his passes. You want to get to the elite offense. You got to let him go through his process.
okay, I'm going to just
somebody else's process.
I'm going to just
By the way, you got 4 more wins than they had at this point.
I'm going to put a hard stop on it. Looked like Jared Goff though, because again, one, I think it puts unfair pressure on Caleb to turn into what Jared Goff has turned into. That's one. And 2, it looked that way through the first 7 games of Goff with Ben Johnson. They did not have Jamison Williams.
They did have Amon-Ra St. Brown.
They did not have Jamison Williams. They did not have Sam Laporta. They did not have the offensive line built to the extent that they had it built once it got good. They did not have Jahmyr Gibbs. I think they had David Montgomery.
Jamal Williams. You had DeAndre Swift.
Jamal Williams. And DeAndre Swift, they hardly used it.
20 touchdowns that year. Jamal Williams.
From the half-yard line, Pat. Go back. He had like 20 touchdowns and 110 yards. They couldn't get DeAndre Swift
He broke 1,000 yards
carries.
that year. No, not DeAndre Swift. Jamal Williams.
No, I know. You're talking about Jamal
20
Williams.
touchdowns. He was a 1,000-yard rusher that year. 100%.
1066, 17 TDs, and went to New Orleans and 306
Yeah,
yards.
it fell
and
off
won.
quick. Yeah, hey, that was if you ever want to see a player where it's Ben Johnson's the reason you're this guy.
But the biggest point I'm making is no Jahmyr Gibbs, no David Montgomery,
Right.
no Sam Laporta, no Jamison Williams. Like, their weaponry wasn't in the place that it was when Goff got good.
Sure.
The Bears' weaponry is closer to where the Lions were when he got good than when he struggled through the start of Ben Johnson.
But here's my point in all of that is the second half of that season, he did not struggle. The second half of that season, Jared Goff turned into like, whoa, are they going to freaking make the playoffs here? Are they, like, if they win a couple of games earlier, like my point is the process that he went to become the quarterback that he was last year, you had to go through these steps. And as Bears fans, right, I get it. Like you're still mad about 1994 or 1989. Or you're still upset that 2001 didn't go your way. Or like, I'm sorry, that Ben Johnson's timeline is not your timeline. It's how Cap sounds every morning. Just whining about how long fans have been waiting. That has nothing to do with the process you're going through right now. Let me ask you this, year over year. Are the Bears a better football team this year than they were last year?
Yeah.
Is the offense better this year than it was last year?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, last year was the worst in football.
Sure. looking at it year over year, you've got a night and day situation.
I'll also say the Goff numbers are not quite identical.
Literally through
Goff's at 64%. Through first 7 games of Ben Johnson, Goff was at 64%, 1,900 yards, 12 touchdowns, 6 picks. Same number of sacks. I'm not even looking at dropback rates.
So you only got to add yards to it. And then Caleb Williams is 4-3 now. 9 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 61% completion percentage, which may be
3 percentage points worse.
Probably higher today because he was pretty accurate as far as the numbers go.
Let's just grab Caleb.
92% and sacked 11 times.
But
that was up till the last game.
Keep it simple. He's at 61.9% through 7 games.
Yeah,
that's the number. So he's a full 2% worse than Goff was. He's got 300 fewer yards. He's got 3 fewer touchdowns. He's thrown fewer picks, but he also has thrown the ball less.
Yeah.
So it's not really the same. And again, you have the weaponry in place, and Goff didn't. That's where I'm sorry, man. I don't have the wait and see. It's the same as Goff. Oh, look, Josh Allen was bad too. You might end up being right. And Caleb, the light switch will flip on, and we'll all go, we should have seen this coming. Goff needed the time with Ben Johnson, and Josh Allen was great. I'm happy to be wrong about that. Like, I would love for the light switch to flip on and it to look that way. I think it's a dangerous game to play, that he's going to be.
But I think it's the game that you got to play based on the guy you brought in.
Yeah, I get it.
It's literally what we said we wanted.
I know.
Do what you did with Jared Goff.
I know.
It's literally, and what irritates me is that in the process we go, why are you doing what you did with Jared Goff? Why are you?
Yeah, but
why does it look like this?
They're also different guys, Goff and Caleb.
100%. Goff had, and maybe it's more of a detriment to Goff than it is to Caleb, or it tells more about understanding the system. Jared Goff had already been a 4,000-yard passer. Jared Goff had already been with an offensive guru. And you had to break down that clay to get him back to the point where he is now. I mean, didn't he have an 84% completion game this year already?
Yeah, he's one of the most.
What the heck is that?
He's one of the most accurate quarterbacks in football. It's Goff and Drake May are the most accurate quarterbacks in football.
Caleb Williams came from Shane Waldron, who just went down to Jacksonville and killed the wide receivers down there.
But, Pat, the point I'm making is that they're different in play style. Goff was always a pro-style quarterback.
Sure.
Goff didn't play in this silly Lincoln Riley offense, which is the point I was going to get to also, is I do feel like this is an extra bit of struggle because you're taking Caleb, this shotgun quarterback from college with the silly little clap cadence and just trying to win games.
It's so bad.
I do have this issue with college football. I don't think they develop quarterbacks and prepare them for the NFL anymore because now you're in a strictly under center offense. That part of it is going to take time. But I also Jared Goff, I know, as an archetype. Forget about the player, forget about the name, forget about just as a prototype passer.
He was a pro quarterback when he came in.
It's a pro-style quarterback. He's going to play from the pocket. He's going to play on time. You just got to get him to understand those things. Caleb has never been that guy. So it is like the clay is there, but you're talking about taking what's been molded and what's been allowed, which is this kid to be creative because he's undeniably supremely talented. He might have one of the best arm talents in all of football. Yeah. And he plays so creatively. You have to get rid of all of that and then remold him into a timing quarterback, which is that's why I think this week we've started to see people question if this fit will ever work.
To me, I think you got to let the fit play out. We're 7 games into this. By the way, he's not going anywhere. And Muzz are like, are you going to bench? No, he's not playing at Bryce Young level. When Bryce Young got benched, it was like, oh, we can't cross the 50. Like, you're still seeing drives that are successful. You got to put it all together. I don't think this is a marriage not made in heaven. I think it's just about the time it's going to take to put this all together. All right, let's finish it out.
I hope that's true.
Let's hope so. Let's finish it out with this, Shea.
I'm sure the comments will be very hateful.
Big Shea, probably to me. Well, see, this is my favorite thing about the comments is you're right today. Like, no matter what, like, whatever is the loudest point of the day, and I think your point and you criticizing Caleb today is kind of where everyone is at with it after 2 bad weeks. You're the one that's right. When we get back to the point where we're going to have, 270 yards and 2 touchdown day from Caleb, I'm going to be a genius. A savant even.
I don't do this to be right, by the way. I just tell you how I feel. Yeah. It's just I'm going to be honest 100%. And tell you what I'm thinking. Listen, and like if you
live by the cheers, you'll die by the boos. That's exactly the biggest thing with doing this.
Exactly.
Shit. Like if you're that worried about what people are saying about you, you're not going to make it long in this industry. I mean, Cap called me a child. Yeah, sure. He had a jag on the radio. It was crazy.
It's true. Well, you were being a jag.
I wasn't.
Sending me Mariners shit, that was too much. Go ahead.
No, wait a minute.
Go ahead.
Wait a minute. That's the only reason you took it there, by the way.
Go ahead. Do your read.
My favorite part of the whole thing is he's there all weekend. He's talking nothing but garbage to Cubs fans. I didn't send a single tweet.
Go ahead.
I sent the one tweet.
I got Julio raising the little stupid-ass thing, the trident.
All right, man. Let's get into this underdog. We got a Monday Night Football game here, Shea. You got Marcus Mariota going up against Pat Mahomes. You did not make the people money last week on the Monday night pick. You went big, and I don't think Aiden Hutchinson sniffed the quarterback the entire night.
Yeah, he sucks. I mean, you throw a double team up against Aiden, and he can't get through it, apparently.
There's a lot of arm flailing, just this. That's what I saw.
Then he did get involved on the 1 sack, and they credit him with none of it. And I'm like, okay, well, there you go. It's going to be that kind of night.
What are your thoughts for tonight's game? What are you feeling as far as an underdog play tonight, Shea? By the way, NBA is a part of this. If you're locked in on NBA,
I'm not.
Series.
Nope, I'm not. No, I'm not doing anything with the NBA.
No baseball. You've been a big hard hog hockey guy.
Yeah, but the Hawks don't. The Hawks don't play tonight.
Playing tonight.
Hawks don't play tonight. We'll do it again Tuesday.
All right, sounds good.
What's the Mahomes passing number?
276.5 right now. Got to be higher or lower than that. You're going lower on a little Pat Mahomes action. You liking Isaiah Pacheco tonight?
I got him on my fantasy team, and I could use a touchdown. Can we get a higher?
Isaiah Pacheco, anytime higher touchdown? Whew, the odds are stacked against it. We got to make one pick from the other team. Terry McLaurin is back. He's got 44.5 receiving yards.
Yesterday was National Tight End Day. Can we do a little Ertz?
Little Ertz action? You like a little Ertz higher on receiving yards? You want a little Tutty action?
Backup quarterback.
Oh, listen, backup
quarterback's best friend. It's National Tight End Day yesterday. This is their opportunity.
32.5 receiving yards. You like that? Or are you going Tutty on that?
Let's go. Let's go.
Reception.
3.5 catches higher.
Okay, 3.5 receptions higher on that. You throw a little bit of a, what do they got right now? A little 40% profit boost in there. That'll make you a little bit of money. Make sure to make that play there if you guys are interested in that. $20 pays you $181 there. $20, $181. It's not a bad day.
That's not bad.
It's not a bad day at all.
You won't go broke taking a profit.
No, listen, if we could get Caleb Williams to understand that, we'd be in a great spot right now. Download the app today. Sign up with the promo code CBP to score $100 in bonus funds or bonus entries when you play your first $5 bet. That's promo code CBP. Underdog makes picks, win money. EO, play the disclaimer. Must be 18 years or older, 19 or older in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 or older in Colorado for some games, 21 or over in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. 3, 2, 1. All right, back here on the Chicago Bears podcast. We've gone a long time here talking about the offense. I'm not going to spend a ton of time here on the other side of it because I think that's clearly going to be the focus this week, and we'll talk about this all week on the podcast, so make sure you're tapped in with us. I do want to get your thoughts on one thing here, Shea. 3 was the number of the day we talked about, 3 pressures. I mean, as bad as people are going to point to the DBs, you could have had Revis Island out there. You could have had Jalen Johnson. You could have had Deion Sanders. You could have had, give me a Peanut Tillman. You could have had a little Richard Sherman out there if you want. with the amount of time that Snoop Huntley had to throw the football, the gods couldn't have covered Zay Flowers yesterday.
Letting him run up the middle the way that he ran. I mean,
that's your starting defensive line, Shea.
There's nothing,
problem.
Pat. There's nothing more I can say about it. It lies at Ryan Pohl's feet. That's it, exclusively. It's been this way for 3 years.
Let me ask you this: is this something that you feel is fixed with the new staff looking at guys differently, or is this going to just end up being this is who Ryan Poles is? Because right now,
I'll believe it's fixed when it's fixed.
In your draft this year, Kyle Monangai? Right? Like, is there anyone else that you feel really tingly about? Luther Burden, maybe a little bit. I feel like.
Did he play?
I feel like Ben. He got concussion. He got a concussion in the first quarter. I feel like Ben might be holding Luther Burden back a little bit, kind of like holding the dog on the chain a little bit with that one.
Pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, Ozzy Shapiro can't get active.
Does Ruben Hippolyte still play for the team?
I don't know. Does Colston Loveland?
Colston Loveland, I see.
Yeah, I know. I caught 3 passes on 5 targets. But like, the defensive line is going to be what it's going to be, man. It just Shamar Turner got hurt, left the game.
Dom Rob banged up. First play too. That was suck.
Grady Jarrett's been banged up, but Grady Jarrett also, like, you're paying him really to be a leader in the room.
Grady Jarrett did exactly what I wanted to see Grady Jarrett do yesterday. He's the one I'm looking at the least. I know people are like, you paid him all this money. What's he doing? He got a sack. Well, I think they credited
it to Dexter.
That was insane. He was the one that made the play to me, but okay.
Andrew Billings had a really bad frustration penalty late.
Yeah, that was nuts. That's kind of when you could tell, and I'll be,
this is, I told you in the offseason. I told you last year. I told you the year before last year. All I've wanted at the top of the draft, and they love getting more weapons. More weapons. All I fucking wanted is an edge rusher or a tackle. It's all I've wanted. Yeah. And they will not give me an edge rusher or a tackle. It's insanity. They went into this season. They finished last season with 0 players on their defensive line in the top 40 in pressures in the NFL. They entered this season with 0 players on the defensive line that were top 40 last year in pressures in the NFL. I don't know how the hell that's acceptable. Yeah. This is just, it's what it's going to be. It's not good.
We'll see. And listen, they didn't have a god-awful game. I think, it's very tough to give all 30 points to that defense when Caleb Williams throws a pick on the 15 and they run it back to the 5.
I actually was going to say I thought the defense played pretty well.
I thought it held up fine, knowing you're missing your top 3, but
like, does it hurt that Tyler Huntley kind of danced on your skull? Yeah, but the defense played well enough that you could have won that game. It's why I just look at it. I put it firmly on the offense. If you want to blame Ben Johnson, blame Ben Johnson. Yeah. If you want to blame Caleb, blame Caleb. But the offense is the reason you lost.
Everybody has to be together on that, and everybody takes the L. We'll see what ends up happening as we go through this week. You got the Bengals coming up. That is a winnable football game because I think their spirits are going to be crushed.
They're all winnable football games.
No, that's a really winnable football game. Because what Justin Fields did to them,
dude,
sweet Jesus.
You better go 2-0. That's all I can tell you. Next 2 weeks, you better go 2-0.
You might need to go 3-0. You might need to. Those last night might have been the wheels falling off on the Steelers. You know they got a 6-game losing streak in them every year.
What's first, Vikings or Steelers?
Steelers is after Vikings.
So we got Vikings. So
you got Bengals. You got
give me 3-1.
Bengals, Giants, Vikings, Steelers.
Give me 3-1 the next 4.
Give me 4-0. I'm going big or go home.
What are we doing?
4-0.
My God.
Hey, if we're 4-0, are you going to be banging that trash can?
What do you want? Mushrooms?
We just did 4-0. We just did 4-0. Don't let the losses cloud your judgment, Shea. We just did 4-0.
I liked seeing those 4 takeaways again yesterday.
Oh. Hey, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love as always. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. I think Al Harris predicted 3.
Yeah.
0 was the number.
Keep predicting 3, and then when you do get them, then great. But tell me again about how sustainable it is. You're just going to get the ball back 4 times in a game.
Sustainability mean, and first, I didn't say 4. I said that they could keep taking the football away.
No, and I think they can. I don't want to harp on this too much.
Sustainability, like one bad game of taking
now I'm just being an asshole.
You son of. All right, let's get up out of here. Stay tuned in with us here on the Chicago Bears podcast. Y'all stay safe out of the Chicago Bears. Down. One love.